Let's look at how we would turn on remote desktop. And very similar to remote assistance, if you haven't watched how to turn on remote assistance up above here in our notes, then be sure and watch that video. But once again, we have two ways to get to this. Well, there's more actually if we think about it. But one is through the control panel. So let's type control panel here. And then once in the control panel, we'll go up to System and Security. And now we can't go to System because that takes us back now to the Settings app, which is the other way to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and click Allow Remote Access. And that now takes me to this Remote tab in System Properties. And we have the Remote Assistance up here, but we have Remote Desktop down here. So I'm going to allow remote connections to this computer. This allows an administrator or somebody else on my network to be able to remotely connect to this computer. Now, if I'm on a domain, I'll need to check this checkbox, but I'm not on a domain. I'm just on a work group at my home, so I don't need to have this one on. I can turn that off, allow connections only from computers running remote desktop with network level authentication. Well, there is no network level authentication on a work group, and so we don't have to worry about that. This has to do with sending some certificates back and forth, and that's not an issue. So that's one way to turn on remote desktop. The other way that we could do it is through the Settings app. And so we would go down to the Start menu and then up to the Settings app. Once in the Settings app, we would go to System and then down here to Remote Desktop. And then you see we have Enable Remote Desktop, and it is now on. It's on because I just turned it on over there in System Properties. If I had not turned it on in System Properties, then it would still be off over here. I did make one note here in the class notes up in Remote Assistance, I believe. Yeah, here it is. I gave the other way to get to that System Properties applet, sysdm.cpl. sysdm.cpl. If I just type that, and notice it's a control panel applet here. If I click that, I can go directly to that, and then I just have to go to the Remote tab. This is why I like using the keyboard for these things, because they keep moving around and changing in Windows. If I know how to do these things using the keypad, so I can just type it in, and I don't think you were able to see me actually do that. Let's do it again. sysdm.cpl. Just typed it down here in the search, and you see that it came up in here, and I can just click it. So once we've learned to use the keyboard instead of the point and click methods, we can always count on that. It's going to stay this way for a long, long time. So I always like to prefer keyboard when I can.